Hello, and welcome to Paint a Beautiful Picture. My name is Violet Newby. I would like to share just a little bit about myself. I am a mom, a grandmother. I'm a registered nurse who has taken care of women and children for over 35 years. I have been a teacher for a very long time. I have taught everyone from preschoolers to preteens and teenagers to adults at the university level. I am the author and the developer of a series of character building ideas for parenting. And what I would love to share with you is how you can be a more effective parent with healthier and happier children. So please come and join me on this journey in painting a beautiful picture in your child's life. I'm so glad that you've joined me again on Paint a Beautiful Picture. On the previous video, I introduced myself and talked to you about things that you need to develop what is going to be a long-term parenting strategy. One of those things I told you about was education, and I told you that it takes a lot of time of education prior to action. With that being said, I would like to tell you that you might treat the next few weeks as an information gathering time. You know, it's really amazing to me. A kid has to take 6 weeks to 6 months before he can learn how to drive a car. That means they won't really let you out onto the streets. At least in my day, they had you do this simulator thing that was really strange, which didn't help me much because the first time I got in a car, and I'd honestly never driven a vehicle before, what happened was I pushed on the gas and went zooming. Thank God we were on dirt, but I threw up an awful lot of dirt and tore up the football field behind me. And then the driver's ed teacher was like, put on the brake, turn on the brake. And I was like, ah! And slammed everyone's face up against some surface in front of them, except for my own. And the driver's ed teacher said, you've really never driven a car before? I said, I told you. Oh, my word. Isn't it funny? You're going to raise a small person. Be responsible for them. Be responsible to keep them alive. Be responsible for them legally and in so many other ways. Basically, no one tells you a thing. Oh, you have sex, you're going to have a kid. That's kind of the natural result if you have sex often enough. Once is more than enough, as I have over 6 feet of living proof to tell you. But the truth of the matter is this. There is a whole lot of information that you need to raise a child successfully. So, one of the major things that I hope to contribute to your life is just good information. There are numbers of reasons for that. When you are well informed, you feel better. It's just an advantage being knowledgeable about a subject. You have more self confidence and more self assurance. And heaven knows you're going to need some of that when your kid is standing in his diaper screaming at you. And don't worry, I promise you, those things really happen. You need the self assurance that what you're doing is right and that you're on the right track long term. You need conviction. Conviction that you know more than they do. Conviction that you're stronger than they are. And I don't mean physically, like you smack them around or do anything that brings them harm. I mean the deep seated conviction that you are emotionally strong enough to accomplish this and mentally strong enough, even spiritually strong enough to be a good parent. It takes a lot of conviction to be a decent parent. It most assuredly takes motivation. You know, it is a selfless job and very often a thankless job being a parent. Hardly ever is some 4-year-old going to walk up and go, well, mom and dad, thanks a bunch for buying all my toys and getting me great books and taking me to the park. That's really amazing. Thank you. I think you're doing great. Yeah, don't hold your breath and wait for that one. And truthfully, I'm really sorry to say this. Don't even wait for your parents. My mom and dad never told me that I was doing a good job as a parent. I mean, not one single time. So, you have to have that strength of motivation within yourself. You have to have enough imagination to look down the road in the long term about what kind of person you will be and what kind of person your child will be. So, I want to tell you, Kids have a lot more information that they catch by example than you will ever teach them with your words. In other words, a lot more is caught than taught. So, in this process of becoming a good parent, you will become a better person. I certainly know that I did. And your motivation has to be that you will be proud of yourself and the kind of parent that you are and have become and are becoming, and in noticing the kind of child that you are raising and the kind of adult they are going to be. Let me tell you, one of the strongest motivations of my life when my kids were just a little bit older, and I met a really wise woman, and she had great kids, really good kids. They were all grown ups and they were all successful. I said, "Can you tell me what you did?" And she said, "Not really." I said, "Please think about this because I need help." A couple weeks later, she came back to me and she said, "I do know one thing I can tell you. Most people raise their children to be children. I raised my children to be men." Oh, that little bit of insight changed me forever. I started thinking about the kinds of men that I wanted my sons to grow up to become. So maybe your motivation will be, what kind of son, what kind of daughter am I raising? And when they are an adult, will I be proud of them and the contribution I made to their life? Motivation. Then there's no question it requires discipline. Oh, my friends, I promise you. I had a young mom make a very fascinating statement to me the other day. She said, in today's world, almost 2 years post COVID, most people want to do what they want to do. They want to run their own life. They don't want a routine. They don't want a schedule. They don't want anyone telling them what to do. They're used to working for home. If they want to work in their underwear, if they want to work in their pajamas, if they want to work from 3 in the morning till 9:30 in the morning, they want to do what they want to do. Routine has gotten a really bad rap. I want to tell you just a few things about the importance of a routine. And I'm going to tell you that down below, I will be giving you some video links and some article links that you can go to. You can read about this. And I confess to you, in many ways, I was really stunned at the extensiveness of the literature that backs this up. Okay, so if you do not have a routine, you are far more likely to eat improperly, be overweight, sleep inadequately, be cranky, be depressed, have excessive anxiety, have a really hard time getting things done, not getting things done, being really frustrated, being more angry, being more, adversarial. And it reduces your sense of stability and your sense of security, even within yourself. Okay, so I want you to have a vision about developing a routine in your own life and in the lives of your children. And here's why. When a child has a morning routine, and don't worry, we will be talking about this so much more. I'm just going to give you the short version. If your child has a morning routine, they get up at the same time, and you wake them up yourself, not with a noisy alarm clock and not screaming down the hall, but walking into their bedroom, putting your hand on their back and leaning over really gently and saying, "Good morning. I'm so glad to see you." And those couple of minutes shape the rest of their day and their conscious thought. And they get up at a consistent time and they get dressed. They eat breakfast. They brush their teeth. They grab their book bag or they grab their backpack or they grab whatever they need and they take off for preschool or school. Or if they're really small, then you start your day. Do you know that that sense of orderliness and that sense of predictability gives a child great security and great emotional stability? That predictability and that consistency makes a huge difference in the development of a child and in their emotional state. And so, do your own self a favor and look at the matter of discipline, developing a schedule, and having a routine. We're going to get back to this. It's where I'm going to end with you today. The last thing you're going to need as a parent is perseverance. You have got to be in this for the long haul. If you are pregnant, or if you have a newborn baby, or even a baby under a year old, you know as well as I do, somewhere for the next 20 to 24 years, you're going to be doing daily parenting stuff. I hope you heard me. I'm talking a very long time, day after day after week after month after year. Wow, you better develop some perseverance. If you're already struggling, if you're already frustrated, if you're already really not doing that great, you need to get extremely honest with yourself. Remember yesterday's challenge? If you didn't hear yesterday's, I want you to go back because I want you to get really honest with yourself. That's what it's going to take to persevere and to be in this parenting game for the long haul. Let's go back to discipline and routine. What does it look like to establish and live by a schedule? First of all, the fact that you are doing this and someone else isn't imposing it upon you is pretty empowering. Okay? So that means you make up your own mind and you get to make up your own schedule. You say, okay, great. Guess what? I'm going to go to bed every night at the same time, within 30 minutes of it. I'm going to get up every day at the same time. And when I do, I will have a cup of coffee. This is just from my perspective, but read my Bible. Take time to pray and talk to God about what my day is going to look like. Then take a shower, get dressed, and go wake up my kids. You know, when you drag yourself out of bed and you're screaming down the hall at the kids, that's a horrible beginning for everyone's day. The discipline of a schedule takes all of that out of the way. So you're more likely to have time to exercise if you actually get up 30 minutes before that. That can give you 15 minutes to get on the exercise bike or go take a walk. You don't have to do an hour-long routine. You can do a 15 to 21. It actually clears out your mind, kicks in your metabolism for the rest of the day, gives you greater clarity of thought all the way throughout the rest of the day. Oh, it gives you time to eat a decent breakfast instead of grabbing something junky like I'm not going to break bad on anyone's brand names, but something horrible at a restaurant that's full of sugar and carbs, but nothing worthwhile like proteins and even fresh vegetables like in an omelet. Okay, so your morning looks really different. Then, if you're a stay-at-home mom, I'll give you a suggestion. So you literally kind of map out your morning. I'm going to do the breakfast dishes. I'm going to make the beds. I'm going to read with the kids. I'm going to take the kids to the park. I'm going to whatever with my kids. Your morning is up to you, but lay it out. And by 11:30, the kids are going to be seated at the table with me. We are going to have a nutritious lunch together. And then the kids are going to lay down. Even when my kids were older, my kids would still lay down for half an hour. They would read on their own. If your kid is really into electronics, this is a time when you can hand them their tablet or let them play for half of an hour or so, and then let them rest their minds. Because if a kid doesn't rest his mind, he doesn't have any time for imagination. You want him to have lots of time for that. Map out your afternoon. We're going to go to the park. We're going to go to the museum. We're going to do something interesting at least a couple times a week. We're going to read. We're going to do creative things. We're going to play with Play-Doh or we're going to paint. There are so many possibilities. Lay out a couple hours in the day for both you and the kids to have fun and to do something physical and to start to develop a broad-minded perspective in your kids. By 4 or 4:30, they probably want to start getting cleaned up a little bit. Or if it's a school kid, they're going to come home. They're going to want to do their homework. And I will tell you that kids probably need a snack when they get home. They need like half of an hour where they're not doing work because they've already been sitting there for hours and hours. It's a good time to go outside and play and just be crazy and scream. I always tell kids, scream out there because, boy, they got a lot of pent up emotion and frustration and everything that they need to get out of their system. Come inside the house. We're going to sit down. I'm going to be right here. So you're going to be doing your homework. I might be doing a few things for dinner, cutting vegetables or whatever, but we're right here together. If you need me, you can ask me a question. I'm available to you. Then we're going to sit down and we are going to eat a meal together. I cannot even begin to tell you all the benefits that come from a family eating together. Make it a goal, a couple nights a week. And you know what? If you're working and you can't come home and face that, then get up 20 minutes earlier in the morning and throw something in the crock pot 3 or 4 days a week so that all you have to do is walk in the door, throw together a salad, set the table, and eat dinner together. After dinner, you can spend time talking, you can read a book together, you can whatever you need to do. If you have a young child under the age of 5, I'm telling you by 6 or 6:30, you need to be giving them a bath. You need to get them to brush their teeth. They need to relax and settle in. You can read them a story, you can say their prayers with them, and by 7:30, they should probably be in bed. I realize that number is probably going to send a whole bunch of you into a tizzy, but I'm talking about a schedule and a disciplined life. Do you know what happens because of that? Your child actually goes to bed quietly and calmly. And they learn to go to sleep because when you go to bed at a consistent time and you have a bedtime routine, your body, your natural biorhythm, it tells you it's time to sleep and you go to sleep. And you sleep better and your mind rests as well as your body. And so now, guess what, mom and dad? It's 7:30. If you don't have to go to bed till 10:30, you have 3 hours of your life that now belongs to you. Whoa, that should get you some motivation. And you have time to pursue your own dreams and your own desires. I don't care if you sit around and watch a movie a couple nights, that's entirely up to you. But it might give you time to do a class online. It might give you time to, one of you, probably not both of you at the same time, unless you have a teenager that's home with the kids when they're asleep. But it gives you time to maybe go exercise or go out to a dinner or even to a coffee shop once in a while and sit down and talk. It really frees up your life. Let me tell you, there are so many advantages to the discipline of a routine. And so, let me encourage you again. Please don't act, don't change anything. I just want you to think this over. Really look at this. What is my life going to look like if I will really start parenting with the correct information, with a strong sense of conviction, with good motivation, with self discipline and the blessing of a routine and a schedule. And boy, I am going to do this with perseverance. I know it's going to take that. In your challenge today, I want you to write down these 5 things, and I really want you to have an honest conversation with yourself. Where am I strongest? Where do I think I'm really going to excel? And where am I weakest? Where am I going to have some trouble? Just tell the truth to yourself. No one else ever has to see it, and you don't have to tell it to anyone unless you choose to. But it will give you some sense of the kinds of information you need to do a good job at being a parent and the places where you might need real strong support. You may find additional information on our paintabeautifulpicture.com website. Additionally, you may watch me on Rumble, and you may also listen to a podcast on Buzzsprout or Spreaker, all under the name Paint a Beautiful Picture. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. You may subscribe, and if you are interested in receiving notifications, please hit the notifications button. Once again, I'm so happy that you joined me today. I will look forward to being with you again soon.